Pravin, welcome at fashiongaze.com. So say something about your today's association with Leica. You have did the session with so many bloggers and influencers.
Well, I was invited by, a month ago, I was invited by Leica store, New Delhi, to actually talk about my photography, about travel and documentary photography that I actually do. I have been a Leica user for 4.5 years now. I use a rangefinder camera. They're famous in series cameras. And I've been very, very satisfied so far with the quality of the images that comes out of the camera. It's a legendary camera, probably around 100 years old, manufacturing, and they still do it quite nicely. They are very minimal camera, but very, very quality oriented camera manufacturing.
So as a travel photographer, you went on so many assignments. You did the making the documentary for the your commercial purpose as well as for your own. So how it is difficult you find choosing the camera in the present scenario after every year or something, this technology is changing. So what do you say about this new technology is coming day by day? Every company is introducing new things.
Cameras.
Yeah. So how Leica is different from others?
Yes, I think it is what you shoot and what kind of quality you want out of your images. That way it is quite, professional photographers will actually say it is quite easy to choose your camera or your equipment based on what sort of shooting that you do, like let's say street photography, landscape photography or documentary photography. They are easy to choose, and I think with Leica, my model that I actually use, it is good overall camera and a good performance, performing camera in terms of I've shot a lot of documentary with it, I've shot a lot of street, and I've shot a lot of landscape with it when I travel. And it's a very, very versatile camera that I have at the moment, and I'm very happy with the quality of images that it produces.
In terms of other leading markets, players in the camera section, other players like Canon, Nikon, and all these things, and several are doing with that. So what basically your love or the technology part is you are with Leica?
Okay. Firstly, I love using Leica, or I use Leica because it is very minimal. It doesn't have a lot of buttons in them. It doesn't allow you to do a lot of things, which is a lot of digital cameras these days actually allow. It is very, very analog, meaning it's very manual. You're focusing the camera that I use called the M series camera. You need to. It's very manual in terms of your focusing has to be done manually. Your aperture setting has to be done manually. Your shutter speeds are manually. The only digital part of it is the sensor that is attached to it, but then everything else is manual. So the process of making a photograph or creating an image is extremely gratifying with Leica. So and the process of making an image is very important to me, and I love the fact that Leica allows me to do that.
In this store, Leica store at CP Connaught Place, New Delhi, there is lots of your work is here. So can you also say something about your works?
Sure. So this shot was taken in Siliguri.
Okay.
I generally take my pictures, I take moody pictures. So this is a river in Siliguri. So I was shooting this river and the life around this river for 3 days.
Okay.
So this is just one part of the image, just one image on that particular river. And I like the fact that this particular cow herder is getting across the river, and the sun behind him, and the birds actually flying. So it tells a lot of story of the rural Siliguri. I shot this in Varanasi, but not where the Ghats are. I shot this image away from the Ghats, probably around 50 kilometers away from the Ghats, where the river is quite calm and also very clean. So I saw this particular image, and then I thought, it is a great image because these are local fishermen trying to fish. These boats are carrying tourists, and the birds flying in, the wires around it. So it almost looked to me like a painting in a way, and I captured this, and I like the reflection of the river as well.
We'll talk about others
This is
Yeah, this amazing one. So where did you click this one?
This is in Varanasi.
Varanasi, at the same Ganga Ghat.
Yeah, and I like the connection between an animal and the
And the
human being.
human being. And I think it's in the winter season.
Winter season again, yes.
Okay.
This I took in Assam.
That's paddy field, like,
paddy fields.
yeah.
So he was a naughty boy running around in the paddy fields, not helping his parents.
Okay.
And I took a couple of his shots, and this is one of them. So
The
I like
nice
the color
shots.
and the contrast.
Okay.
And this was in Jama Masjid.
Okay.
I wanted to actually capture a very contrasty image with the light and shadow falling on it, and this particular person's silhouette, so I can actually add a bit of a human element to it. This was shot in New Zealand,
Okay.
around 30 kilometers from a place called Glenorchy. This image was hard to capture because a lot of sand flies was actually all around me, hundreds and thousands of them trying to bite me, but I still spent a good 1.5 hours over here to capture this image around 6 o'clock in the morning with the sunrise hitting the top of the mountains and this particular pier that was broken.
So, if you talk about the technology like Leica is having, what sort of equipment you are using currently?
Well,
Can you also give the specification?
Yeah, I use a rangefinder camera from Leica, which is called M9 or M9P. It's 18 megapixel camera. Was introduced in Leica M family around 8 years ago. They have now upgrades of that camera, like M10 is the latest one that they have, but still a rangefinder camera. With my camera I use 3 lenses, all prime fixed focal length. One is 90 mm lens, which I use for portraits. The other one is 50 mm, which is a classic lens that you can use anywhere. And the other one for landscape and for street, I use 28 mm lens.
So can you also say something about that in this store we are finding so much and beautiful camera and for the professional as a beginner's one. So can you also say something the technology wise for the big those who are the professionals?
Yeah.
So which type of camera they will like prefer for the Leica from the news as a in comparison to others?
Do you think this is better explained by Nitish?
So how have been journeys so far as a travel photographer, as a storyteller, like you through documentary you are coming out with a good story, as in your session you just shown the blue light things and you shown that. How have been journeys so far?
As a travel photographer, the journey is incredible because you get to travel a lot, you see a lot of people, meet a lot of people, see a lot of places. I mean, as a travel photographer, fairly easy to capture as well, go to different cities, different towns, meet people. But as a documentary photographer, sometimes you are given a story or you need to tell a story which is a difficult story to tell, which is a human story, their sufferings, which is a story about a community, and you need to tell the story about that community and what issues they are facing. So documentary photographer definitely is a little difficult for me to actually do, because you need to really get into the story and try and be honest about it to actually generate empathy from other people, from the viewers. Travel photography, great, you can tell a happy story, sometimes you can tell a sad story as well, but it will take you places, and it has been extremely gratifying and a very satisfying journey so far.
So what is your basic tips for the beginners photographer as a travel enthusiast?
I would say the first basic tip, number one, would be to practice a lot. So as a photographer or a beginner, you need to practice a lot. You need to don't get too hung up with a genre of photography. Like don't just, if you have just started shooting, then don't think you are a street photographer or you're a travel photographer or a documentary photographer. Shoot everything, and then eventually you will find out what you are good at, and then you will get into it and then specialize on that specific genre of photography. Second is don't people always talk about equipment, which camera you're using, what is the megapixel. Don't get too hung up with it. You can use whatever it is. These days even the mobile phones are really great, but then you can actually start by using a mobile phone and then graduate to something better, and then But the thing is to just keep on shooting and exploring photography and to know your equipment really, really well, so you become a good photographer.
Your love for Leica, in a one sentence, how do you describe it?
Leica is a brilliant, camera in terms of what you want out of it. I like things that are very simple and minimal, but great quality. So Leica is all that. It's great quality. It's very minimalistic. It is almost an analog camera, and it has great output. It gives you great images, and it is very, very discreet, and it allows you to photograph your subject without them knowing about it in a way. So on the streets, it's great.
Thank you so much for talking with the fashiongaze.com and giving your valuable tips. Thank you.
So much.